Everybody seemed to have. Thank you, Emily. And Emily's going to take some notes. We have a whiteboard developing so we can take ideas and put those down. Sometimes we get ideas just by listening to other people. So Heather, if you would start with our overview. That would
Yeah,
be
I think what we've been doing on a lot of these is been going around the room. First, I'd like to know, has everybody been to one of these before in general? To any of these Zooms have been going on for some time, and now we're going hyper local with them, and having them in individual communities. So I just want to get a sense, is this new to anyone?
Yeah,
Kind of
this new to
raise
me.
your hand. Eric, you said this is new to you?
It's new to me too.
Okay.
Maybe.
And who, okay, so
And
this is
me.
okay, so this is new for a lot of us. All right, great.
welcome, Lynn.
So we're I'm trying to navigate around between my screen sharing and being able to look at you guys. So bear with me here. I don't have a huge screen. We have Angela and I, first, I'll introduce myself. I haven't met many of you. My name is Heather Reifer. I've been working with the Chester County Community Foundation on this initiative, which is the Friends of America 250 PA, Chester County. And my background is historic preservation. I used to be executive director at Historic Sugartown, most recently up until 3 years ago. And then ahead of that, I was at the Mill at Anselma in Chester Springs. And I've been working on the heritage tourism planning here in the county and other initiatives regarding heritage. Um, I think probably the best thing to do so we all know who's here is we'll go around the room real quick and have everybody quickly introduce themselves, and then we'll give a little bit of an overview about what we're trying to do with 250, and then we can get into the nuts and bolts of what you're thinking so far. And if you have anything specific or anything vague, where things are in general. Does that make
Heather,
sense?
yeah, that does. And I'm going to introduce Lawrence first because he has a hard deadline at 12:30 because it's ice cream Sunday day at camp.
Oh,
So Lawrence, if you could
okay.
start, that'd be great. I saw it in the chat.
That's great.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name's Larry Accio. Lawrence, my full name. So just go by Larry. I am the director of Parks and Rec for East Whiteland Township and the 250 liaison for America 250. Hopefully, planning some events, programming throughout the year in conjunction with this celebration. Don't have much in the way of planning yet, but have some ideas and looking to partner with other local organizations around the township and beyond to maybe make it as big and best as possible.
Okay, thanks for joining
Great.
us in this on
Yeah,
this
thank
busy
you.
day. I might be right over.
Yes.
You're more than welcome. Come on out.
So how about next Hugo?
Hi, I'm Hugo Schmidt. I'm chair of the Malvern Historical Commission for Malvern Borough.
Okay, and Jim?
I'm Jim Christ. I'm president of the Paoli Battlefield Preservation Fund in Malvern. And we're planning sort of September around the anniversary of the battle to kind of do our big event when we normally have it year after year. We are trying to incorporate themes into like reading the Declaration or something into that event um, to kind of make it more of a 250 theme.
Eric?
Fantastic.
Yes, hi, Eric Ray. I'm president of the Malvern King Street Revitalization. And so we're interested in tying this and cooperating with the 250 PA. And also I'm on the committee for the Paoli Battlefield with Jim.
Great.
Okay. Lynn?
I'm Lynn Frederick. I am a borough councilor in the borough of Malvern. I'm also on the historical commission. We are looking to do a lot of celebrating here in the borough the week after Memorial Day, leading up to our historic parade.
Oh,
So
excellent.
we have some ideas planned already. We definitely are doing, the Historic Commission's doing a tour on Thursday night. Saturday already has a lot of events planned as it usually does, and Sunday, of course, is the parade. We're looking to get some other groups involved in the other days of that week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and
That would be
Friday.
awesome.
Great.
So Heather, if you could give the overview, then we can, so that,
Yeah.
especially so Larry gets it before he,
Absolutely, yes. So, very quickly, 250 will now be here in less than a year. And we've been working with municipalities and groups throughout the county, organizations and so forth to kind of start, get people thinking and put some meat around the bones on what you could potentially plan for 250. We are driven by four themes. The predominant theme, of course, is the Revolutionary Philadelphia campaign. So the Battle of Brandywine, Paoli Battle of Paoli, which of course is in your backyard, and also Battle of the Clouds, all the different locations within the Philadelphia campaign. And it's a reminder to us too that 250 in this region is not just about 2026, it's 2027 very much, because in 1777, that's when things happened here, especially, as you all know, September on, here in Chester County. And bear in mind, today, there's already events going on around the country because as they are already hitting their 250 milestones. Battle of Bunker Hill just happened. There's been events up at Fort Ticonderoga. And there, if you kind of follow, and gosh, these days, anything on Facebook or Instagram, there's already things happening in New Jersey and so forth, to commemorate. So it's already happening in a lot of places. Ours just seems to happen more in 2027.
and we want every community to be sort of participate in this and to use
Yes.
it, as Heather was going to talk about the other themes that we're using to boost economic tourism and knowledge about our county.
Yeah. So much of the revolution was bolstered by the agricultural landscape here in Chester County, as well as the iron furnaces. So those, you could pull into those themes if that is meaningful within your community, as well as what we've termed as the unfinished revolution. All men created equal left out a lot of other communities. So we continue to, if it's meaningful in your community, you can, like it is so much down in southern Chester County and other parts of the county where the path of way to freedom certainly came through here, sites on the Underground Railroad, and what that meant to other people as everyone's had this quest for freedom over time and how that quest has changed over time. So those are the themes. We also, and if those themes don't excite you, you can lean back into the what it means to be an American, U.S. citizenship rights, our Constitution, the meanings of the Declaration of Independence, which leads us to our specific initiative that we're working on.
It's such an opportunity for civic engagement.
Exactly, exactly. And one of those ways, and I think it was Jim was mentioning the fact that they're going to work in a reading of the Declaration of Independence into their activities at Paoli Battlefield next year. One of our main initiatives that we're working on is promoting having readings of the Declaration of Independence throughout the county, not just on the 4th of July or the week of 4th of July, which is what Montgomery County is doing at specific locations. We're looking at it throughout the summer, and we've roughly said Memorial Day through Labor Day. But again, recognizing that many of our events and milestones happened in September, this can go on as wherever it makes sense to your
And
organization.
however we can expand the engagement. I'm thinking of students back in
Yes.
school and that sort of thing.
Exactly. So we are working, this is in development now. We're working on creating toolkits to help organizations develop and host their own reading events at their sites. Everything, because it could be as big or as small as you want it to be. It could be a standalone event. Lynn, you were mentioning the parade and other activities leading up to the parade. It could be a reading at a ceremony before or after the event. I don't know how that normally plays out
My
at
new,
that event.
my new favorite one is Phoenixville. They're going to go out on the marquee of the Colonial Theater because you can walk on it, and they close the streets on Friday nights, and they're going to read it from
So
the marquee.
So we're going to, so our toolkits will be everything from event organizing, which could help you with any of your other events that you're doing, to a facilitator's guide to help you design your event and think about how you read that declaration. Because not many, I don't know, you could show your hand if have you read the Declaration of Independence lately? Not many people have. I will point to our website, which Emily, can you put the website in the chat, the link for the Dare to Declare page? Because there are some resources on there now, and there's a video there of some actors that you all recognize reading the Declaration, and it's a great way to great entry into
And
it.
it's only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not that long of a document, actually.
No, it's not. So, so we're working on these resources. We'll have a reader's guide available, so you won't have to come up with that. And then we'll also have tools for helping get the word out. If you look at this particular page, you could also see you could register your site through our website to say you're having an event. Once you know the date and time and location, you can get that out there, and we will also co-promote that. So and there's as we said, any number of ways you could do it. You could have one speaker, you can have 40 speakers, it's whatever makes sense to you. You can also pair it with other readings as well. There are suggestions that, there are other documents there. The name escapes me right now. The Declaration of Sentiments, I believe the name is, was the Women's Declaration of Independence during the women's suffrage movement. So if you want a wider discussion about what the Declaration of Independence means to you. I also recently learned about, in fact, I just learned about this yesterday. There is a initiative out of the New York Historical Society called Made for Us. And they have a number. I'm still trying to get a handle on which website to send everybody to on this, but they're suggesting that organizations have what they're calling a wish wall. And they're doing one digitally where you can post a message, a birthday wish to America, and you could say anything you think, what you wish for our country going forward. Yeah, or it's kind of like a love letter to the country, or not, because we're Americans and democracy is complicated. But this could be done at an organization on a wall that's a pop-up where you either can put post-it notes on it about what America means to you. It's something very simple and an easy lift for places to kind of get people thinking about what it means to American as you're reading the Declaration. So
And also, I think that it appeals to all ages, that
it
sort of
does.
thing. And that's one of
Yeah,
the other things that we want to do. I'm looking at
exactly.
you, Larry.
Actually, to that point, I think I remember from last month, somebody had mentioned a more modern, modified version of the Declaration.
Yeah, that's Stacy Ballard over
Stacey
in East
Ballard,
Town. She's
the
talking about a Gen Z.
Gen Z. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to, Angela, we're gonna have to reach out to her and see where they are on that, because I think that's a great
I'm gonna
example to
see
put
her.
out there.
I'm gonna see her tomorrow, so I will definitely ask.
yeah, that sounds
Okay,
really
great.
interesting.
Yeah, it does. And again, they're very, Stacy's just very in tune with the idea of broadening the participation. And I think it's worthy for all of us to consider that.
Yeah.
Because as I said when we started, it's about civic engagement. It's I feel not to sound old, but I feel like when I was younger, we just kind of were more engaged in things. The Declaration, the Pledge, the parades. So I really want to use this as a lever to re-engage people.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Angela, is there anything else we should add from here?
No, I would also say that you're not alone. So as you
Yeah.
can kind of tell from my comments that we're doing this in Tredyffrin Easttown, we're doing it in Kennett Square and Westchester. So we're going hyper local so that you guys can collaborate with each other. I mean, I could see the parade, I could see Jim at the battlefield engaging people and working together to pump up your events.
Mhm.
Both we can help promote things if you create them, but we really think if it's going to work better if it's organic to your community.
Exactly.
So Eric, what as the Main Street in Malvern, what are you thinking?
I am. I'm going through a lot of possibilities in terms of, obviously, we've been talking about connecting with Jim's group, and
Mhm.
we could do a lot more with that. And then this could just put it on steroids in terms of the kinds of things and events that we could host or do and or help with. So, and we'd like to attract people looking at the battlefield to come downtown and for lunch, and then vice versa. We want to direct people from downtown to visit the
Great.
memorial. So,
Mhm.
and then this says just the Valley Forge and other opportunities around the area. So
You are the only historic site connected to a SEPTA train.
yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
that's a great point. So yeah, just a lot of opportunities.
Mhm.
Eric, has Main Street looked into tapping into the larger context and like what's going on in Philly as well and how to leverage that as far as like an economic impact?
Yeah, the Philly downtown center did just host a conference a couple months ago, and we attended that. Yeah, yes. The short answer is yes, but we don't have anything solid yet. So any ideas about how to make that connection more visible and more tangible, that'd be helpful. We
And
have.
again, you have that charming walkable downtown thing going on.
Yeah.
So that should be, helpful and marketed.
It is, and we have the good news about that is that we have the support of the borough council. So they definitely want like to see things happen and become a little bit more vibrant. So we have that support as well.
I thought during the tree planting, that was a nice turnout and
It was. Yep.
yeah, okay. Anybody else? How about Lynn? Did you want to talk about how we could, get the parade sort of a community-wide engagement, or is it already that?
So I mean, I think it kind of is. We start at the firehouse and go through the downtown and then all the way to the parade grounds. Uh,
Would you consider getting like a special person in for the 250?
so I'm not on the parade committee. That'd be a Hugo
I
question.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm on the parade committee.
Not me.
Sorry. So is Jim Christ. He's also on the parade committee. We are kind of looking forward to next year. Part of I mean, it's not a huge problem, but it is something that we need to think about is whatever funds we ask for the parade. Now, the parade obviously it'll be May 31st next year, so just before June. We will not receive those funds until around September. That is just the way the borough cuts the checks. So even if we ask for a lot of money next year to help us with the parade, it won't. We will need to do some fundraising.
mhm.
We have started looking to extra things to do, extra people to invite. Part of the problem this year was we did have extra people that we were not expecting to offer to join us in the parade, but because we didn't have the funds, we declined them and said, get back to us next year. So we're planning on having a meeting probably around November or something like that to try to start planning on next year. The biggest part is going to be the fundraising for the various groups that aren't just like the community baseball league and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
The bands cost money. especially when you bring in either an historic band that'll have uniforms to pay for or the mummers. Those are probably the two biggest and most expensive things that we have are the bands and the mummers. So if anyone has like a band or especially like a fife and drum corps they're aware of, we'd love to have their contact information, at least reach out and see what we can do to add them.
Mhm. I like the fife and drum idea. That's great.
Mhm.
And I was thinking of, even when you have your opening, doesn't someone speak? I'd go big, ask the governor.
We that's very, I don't know if we've ever thought of going as big as asking the governor. Part of the, I want to say problem, but our parade has always been the Sunday after Memorial Day or Decoration Day. It's not on the actual holiday. It never has been, unless for some reason the 30th was that Sunday. We have the parade. We have a couple of scouts carry the first banner that just says, "We remember the fallen." That's the first part of the parade. And then after the parade, there is the commemoration that goes back to 1817, when the original monument was installed above the grave mound of the 52 soldiers that are buried there. Um, we could certainly look into getting someone larger there because it may work to our advantage that our memorial celebration is not on the same day that everyone else's is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I also think that it's just given the longevity of how long the parade has been going on, that's something that you can use to market yourself. Okay. And do you get spillover into downtown and so on, Eric, after the parade?
We haven't measured it. I'd like to get we'll talk to the business association and see whether I'll ask that question to them.
Mhm.
Maybe Zane or Lynn knows. They have more history knowledge than I have.
Zane?
Well, usually we don't get that much, fallout because what happens is the parade goes on and then we have the ceremony, which I think we need to do something to get more involvement. There's a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, that they end the parade and they leave. They don't even know that there's a ceremony, or we'll have people at the other end of the bowl not even to bother to walk down, and then downtown people just walk back to their cars and leave. There's a couple families on Monument and on King Street that will actually have a picnic. They'll make a picnic out of it and people stop by and talk, but there's no organized event, and it would be nice to get something more organized and work with the business association and the revitalization.
Another thing,
I'll make that agenda item on our next board meetings. Zane and Lynn are on it. So let's talk about that. See if we can get a good idea.
we have also a couple of places that are doing things. They're collaborating, like the library in Kennett's going to have a book talk, and then afterwards, some of the restaurants and things are going to have special meals, like $17.76 type of thing. It sounds a little bit hokey, but that's another thing that you can do to engage your businesses.
Well, I think part of the issue with the businesses is that many of them, especially the restaurants, are closed on Sundays, and that's the day of the parade.
Darn. Well, but we could have another day, pre-parade.
Or could there be
Absolutely. Well,
food trucks? Or
that's
there
why
could-
the historical commission is trying to do a whole bunch of stuff throughout the entire week. That's why
Yeah.
we want to start with something on Tuesday and have different events throughout the week to kind of highlight the different businesses or different groups in town that might be willing to help us out with something.
The other issue,
have
the other
food
issue with
trucks.
the parade is that the road is closed, so it's a little hard to get to the businesses unless you walk and park
walking.
and stay. People are all sitting in front of the businesses, so it's hard to get into them. I mean, there's a lot of challenges with the parade and when we close the street.
Well, yeah, I love the idea of doing things earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And continuing it, because as Heather was saying, this is like a year-long celebration, and we move in to 1777, which is a big anniversary for the battlefield and so on. So and I'm trying to think of a way to involve the kids in the camps. Like, how can we do that?
Yeah, it's been an interesting thought process to kind of go through all this. I think my whole idea is like Malvern's our next door neighbor. I don't want to compete with them in any way, trying to do something different in different ways. We have Battle of the Clouds here in our township, but how do we celebrate a battle that never happened? So
Yeah,
trying to think of those things and everything like that has been interesting. And hopefully, I'm looking to tap into our historic commission and things like that because I think having multiple input rather than just myself is going to help make this
and it
a
doesn't
larger thing.
yeah, it doesn't have to be specific to the Revolutionary War. It could be specific to, as Heather was talking about, citizenship and what it means to be an American. And I love the idea of the wall and people participating in that way.
Mm,
Um, you know, and the declaration station, you could have some kind of a declaration station and even get the kids. I'll find out more about the Gen Z.
Yeah, we will, because I also want our folks to see that and study it.
I actually have a question real quick before I have to hop off. Kind of is how do I phrase this? Has anyone put it in thought or have had any kind of discussions on how to engage like minority groups who might not feel so connected to the history of America, especially kind of given the current climate of things that are happening, and how to maybe kind of bridge those gaps to let them know and kind of make them feel a part of these celebrations as much as possible?
We've definitely had conversations with people about this. And that's part of this, of what Heather was talking about in terms of the four themes, this idea that we're constantly working to perfect, you know, liberty and justice for all. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
ongoing journey, and that's how we talk about it.
Okay.
Heather?
The one thing that's been talked about, very specific, going back to the Declaration of Independence readings, there the idea of kind of deepening the level of engagement with it. So, Frederick Douglass wrote I believe it was a newspaper article originally, about, to what I'm going to garble this, but to what is the, freedom for the slave,
Mhm.
but so one of the suggestions that's been put out there is you have a reading of the Declaration of Independence, and then you have a reading of what he has and have a panel discussion. Now that's a little more scholarly, but there's and you have to, in a crowd, when I hear that, I'm like, okay, you'd have to explain, well, why are you reading both versions,
Yeah.
and how is it meaning, the meaning's different across communities. So, um, yeah,
Okay.
that's one, we keep nudging forward. And so don't have a specific answer for you, but there are some resources, and we're going to have to,
And you're not the first person that
no,
has
not
brought
at
this
all.
up.
Yeah. Because, yeah, it's true. In certain, and it's true. It's come up multiple times. It's like, well, yeah, 4th of July is just not my holiday,
Yeah.
that's a very real, feeling for some people. So yeah.
Again, it's about engagement. If we can engage people in conversations,
Yeah.
that is helpful. And we have a lot of we also tend to forget how many new citizens we have living in our community. So we're much more diverse than people think we are, and it's engaging people who weren't born and educated in the United States about the United States. Even people who were born and raised here sometimes don't know the Paoli battlefields in their backyard.
It's interesting. Someone from the Bar Association, they are working on plans to have readings of the Declaration at least one of the naturalization ceremonies next year that they pair up, throughout the year. So, yeah, so ideas are, putting forward, and as we hear them, we'll share them. And again, it's again that civil discourse. All of this is, I mean, the Declaration of Independence was born out of civic discourse, right? So, and it continues today. So we just have to figure out like, well, how do we make it meaningful for us? And
This,
that goes for the rest of.
and this came out of Rose Fennell. She's the superintendent of Valley Forge Park, and she's the one who said, "When was the last time you read the Declaration of Independence?" And I said, "Fifth grade." And she said to me, "Read it. It's not just revolutionary, it's incendiary." And so I took her advice and actually listened to it on my way to my next meeting to her. And when you listen to it, for me, it's better. It's most of your podcast platforms have a reading of the Declaration, so you can listen to it. And I do think this is a powerful thing, and we can use it to make and create concerts, movies, events that bring people together. Do you show movies in your parks, Larry?
Yeah, we typically do one like annual movie night, but
Hmm.
potentially could be room for more.
So we have Uptown Theater in Westchester is doing a series of Americana movies.
Okay.
And it's not always about the battle, it's
Mhm.
about Americans. Like
Yeah.
I think one they're showing is Witness, took place that they filmed in Lancaster County, and some other movies, Americana they're calling it.
Okay.
So again, not always about the battle,
Yeah.
but just about who we are as a nation.
The
Yeah,
other
I like
thing
that
to
idea.
think about, yeah, the other thing to think about is think about the organizations within your community. I'm not sure within the right township borders, but there's an organization um for helping families. I can't think of the name of it right now. It's on the corner of Sweetsford Road and Plainbrook, I think.
Okay.
And so right down from Battle of the Clouds Park there.
Home of the
Home
Sparrow.
with the Sparrow,
the
yeah.
Not
Sparrow.
Home of the Sparrow, but that's another
Oh,
good one.
okay.
There's another one. Maybe it's not there anymore. If I find it, I'll let you know. But I know they would send their summer camps over to historic Sugartown several years ago to do community service stuff. But there might be opportunities there or just think about like different organizations, and it could be health and human services. It doesn't have to be history,
Yeah. Okay.
it's I mean, in fact, it's probably better if it's not, it's the community organizations in your township that are doing things to better different aspects of it. They may have ideas
Yeah.
or throw the idea, we want to do this. Do you think this will work? Or how will this work here? They,
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the way that I have to approach it, and that's
yeah,
been a bit of a challenge for me because it's obviously so history focused in so many aspects, but looking at it as like what is like modern day America and how to kind of tap that into the celebration of
exactly.
what America was and where we are now.
Foundational principles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because on one hand, when it comes down to it, what were we all probably, a lot of us doing this past weekend? Eating hot dogs, watching fireworks, going to a parade. You're doing things with family, you're doing things within your community. So it's kind of figuring out, is there a way to make it, bring some more meaning to it in terms of the principles of the Declaration of Independence? Or is it about just getting the community together, enjoying each other's company, being part of a community, which, I think that's half the battle sometimes these days.
Also, we're talking, I'm on the arts committee in Tredyffrin Township, and one of the things we're talking about is a mural.
Yeah.
So again, I think that would attract broad community participation. You'd have to get the location for it and all of that. There's the Mainline Mural Project. Stacy Ballard, again, she comes into the conversation, and we're talking to her about that tomorrow. How much, how it works. But she already got a lineup of artists that can do this sort of thing. And that might be something, everybody needs sort of the wow factor. And I look at Jim and I think about the activities at the battlefield. Maybe the mural is a way to engage the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
We,
Absolutely.
we
Yeah,
have multiple
Westchester's
murals in Malvern
I
already.
know you do,
Oh,
and they're
yeah, we do.
beautiful.
And I actually like the art in the borough, the building, because Randall is a friend
Yeah.
and I paint with him.
My business is directly behind Malvern Pizza, where one of the historic
Oh, yeah.
murals is. And I frequently will glance outside the window and see people with, like setting themselves up and taking pictures in front of that mural. Maybe
Sure.
we should try to look at how we could,
That is a great idea.
yeah,
Like a mural
there-
walk.
yeah.
Yeah, and that just occurred to me too. Sometimes you go into other towns. I'm thinking Nashville comes to mind because that's one I saw recently. They have like the ones where you can stand in front of an angel wings. Maybe there's something you could do that's 250 theme rather than an angel, but but
Mhm.
something that people can take pictures in front of and be a part
Yeah.
of.
So I think the mural walk would be great because it would engage people who already live there, plus people who might.
Westchester's working on a mural too.
Mhm.
There's a mural behind, Lynn, help me with this, the shopping center that
Gallagher.
I think it's on the back of Gallagher's. Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
back of Gallagher's that has,
It's about the battle.
it's about
Yeah.
the battle. And so
Yeah.
that's what we
Cool.
could highlight and have people take pictures of.
Yeah, but to do a walk around
Right.
town and
Yeah,
so and do them all. So that might be a thought. I don't know who would spearhead that, but we've just assigned you another task.
It's okay. We need things to fill in those dates that I mentioned. So
Yeah, but I think that
Okay.
would be really good. And a little bit of the history as you're walking.
yeah, it could be
Yeah.
expanded. Scavenger hunt comes to mind, but something that leads people through town to find the different hidden gems that
And
in
then, but what
Malvern.
about,
Yeah.
and then also we have Paoli too. So
Right, right.
how do we line up and engage Paoli? So.
Well,
Any,
I think you guys were talking, and Hugo, we normally hosted a history walk through the town and through the Paoli battlefield, and we would donate that money to the Malvern Parade Committee for the parade. And this year we raised like a little over $400 for them.
Nice.
So if you want me to do a history walk on Saturday or some day like that, I'd be more than happy to do that.
so you could have a series of walks, like town talks and village walks or whatever. And then bring them up the main street for something to eat.
Yeah, has anyone had experience in creating a urban trail from, in this case would be from the Paoli Memorial to downtown? Kind of like a miniature freedom walk that Boston does.
Mhm.
Is anybody that's done that before or have thoughts on that?
Not specifically.
But again, one thing that
Uh,
another group is doing is they're getting the scouts to put in 4x4s into places with a QR code on them. So that when you're walking by, you can put your phone up to the QR code and know what happened there.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a possibility, and the QR codes aren't that difficult to create.
Okay.
But you could somehow get a group involved in doing that.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because a lot of the stores downtown, I mean, they've been there, I mean, they look modern, but they've been
Yeah.
there a long time. I'm thinking about the Gallery 222, what it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else?
Well, Gallery 222 is now a candy show.
I
That's what
know.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of like the gallery, just saying, just as an artist.
So did Randall.
Oh, yeah. Anything else for the good of the cause? I think we have to work on broadening our conversation here, getting more people involved.
Yeah, if you have
So-
suggestions of folks we should reach out to, specific people, directors of organizations,
Well, I
owners.
made certain that Sylvie McKenzie, who's the borough communication engagement manager, was aware that this meeting was going on. She couldn't make this meeting because she was at another meeting. So she would definitely be one
So,
to be
yeah,
the
I
point
think
person,
she's
because
been
she's the
on
one
one
that
of our
does.
meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that does all the email communications, and she has created a next door page for the borough and a whole bunch of other things
Great.
in terms of social media. So even if we can't specifically think of a point person, she may be able to um direct us to the right person or direct the information to the right person. Because I know Lynn and I were thinking of reaching out to the other committees in town and
Mhm.
seeing if they would be willing. It's like our Parks and Rec group, which just does a few events during the year.
No, that would be
Um,
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of
And I'm also thinking of the
connection.
people who offered the free food, the barbecue for an
A
event. Yeah,
World's.
Laurel's
Yeah.
Butcher Shop, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Right.
they're already on board for next year.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we
She-
picked that week. There's things happening already, and if we can just advertise them more, I think that's the key.
And put a 250 overlay on it.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So the more people we can engage in this kind of conversation, the better. So if you want to invite them, we'll invite them to the next meeting, but an email from you, I think will, speak louder.
And I
So-
think that's a good approach too. And Angela mentioned the overlay. Look at everything you've always done in Malvern. Even you could even start this fall or put information out at the Christmas on King, or just think about the different things you already do and loop them in.
Yeah, I put
Figure
that
out where you can.
information. Yeah, I put that information on the worksheet that we were given, that bulletin board. I put all just threw everything I thought
Oh,
of
great.
on there last night. So I have on there that the Malvern Farmers Market, the person who does the Malvern Farmers Market is also the one that is currently in charge of doing those the festivals in
That's
I'd
town.
love to get that
Campley?
person
Christmas
involved in
King.
this. Yeah.
It's Christy Campley, who is
It
also
is,
involved with
okay.
the Malvern King Street Revitalization Group. So by having Eric and Lynn and Zane here, Christy's also involved. Just
Yeah,
not
yeah,
at
we
the
will,
meeting
but
at the
we could
moment.
get
So, yeah,
Christy on this call. That's a good idea. Yep.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. So next month we're meeting, I'm looking at you, Emily.
Where I might be able to find it too.
We
So it's the
are,
second Monday at noon. So that would be August something. I'm-
13. August 13.
Oh my God, I'm muted. I'm so sorry. August 13th.
Is it Monday or Wednesday? You just said
Wednesday.
Monday. Is it
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yes.
I slept without air conditioning, so I don't really know what day it is.
Oh,
That's an awful feeling.
And a dog.
thanks for putting this
It was
together.
very toasty.
Thanks for putting this together. It was very helpful, not only learning about what others are doing, but just generating a generation of ideas. So thank you
Yeah,
for
that's what
Yeah,
it is.
no,
And we
that's great.
can do this. We can generate excitement and interest and civic engagement.
Ooh, I have someone, Lynn, I think we need to invite who's really good at that.
Who's that?
Akeem.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Scoops and
Smiles.
owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done events on his own when he wasn't basically given permission to do so. He did them anyways.
Yeah.
And he's a veteran too.
He's
So
a veteran.
Mhm.
He's great. Yeah. He would do. He
Nothing
would be
wrong with
at the
Scoops and
Sugartown Beer
Smiles.
Gardens. He's great.
Eat your ice cream.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And see you next month with friends.
thank
Sounds
you.
good. Everyone have a good one.
Bye.
Take care.